Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about Chinese evergreens, which are Aglaonemas. They're one of my favorite houseplants because they're so easy, they love low light, and yeah, I'll just get right into the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first up, I have this one. So this is my Chinese evergreen Aglaonema Silver Bay. I really like this one because the leaves are they come in really big, as you can see. And the kind of foliage, it looks really like, I don't know, like kind of water painted, like, oh my god, watercolored. So I think it looks really cool. New leaves always come out a little bit lighter in green, if you guys can see. That little baby is a new leaf. And yeah, the second one I want to show you, I don't really know the name. I think this one is a moonstone, two-tone moonstone or something like that. It has beautiful pink stems and the foliage kind of is like speckled with some green and pink splashing. So really love that one. So yeah, how I care for these two plants is I definitely give them low light, so they're not in prime sunny window areas of my room. They're more kind of like hidden a little bit back, so maybe a few feet from my north facing window, or if it's near my grow lights, I kind of pull them away from the grow lights, because if you give these plants too much sun, it actually burns the leaves, which if you burn it just doesn't look cute, right? Unfortunately for the Silver Bay, I actually gave it a little bit of cold damage. So as you can see here, I actually had to cut off a few of the leaves. So there's that one. This one I cut off. Yeah, just a bunch of them because I bought this in the winter and I tried to bring it to my car, which was kind of far from the shop that I bought it at. And yeah, it was just too cold. I think it was like -10 and therefore there is cold damage. But that's okay. Still loving this, and it pushed out a bunch of new leaves. So yeah, in terms of light, definitely low light and don't give it direct sunlight. If you give it brighter light, like more medium to bright in direct light, it will grow a little bit faster. But in low light, it won't die, which is what we want in plants. So yeah, it's really good for decorating rooms. If you have more darker corners, obviously not no light, but just low light. Next up, in terms of watering, these guys don't like to be completely dried out for sure. They kind of more or less like to be slightly dry, so maybe the top 1 or 2 inches of soil it starts to feel dry, but if you stick your finger deeper it's still moist. So that's when I typically water my plants. So if this one is in a 6-inch nursery pot. I actually just watered this one today. So it's in a 6-inch nursery pot, and I water this maybe about every 7 to 10 days. And when I do water it, I take the nursery pot out like that, and then I bring it over to the sink and I just water it with tap water, let it all drain through, and then I put it back into its cover pot. So that's how I water this guy. With this one I think has been potted in a more like dense soil, so there's less perlite and orchid bark. That's why I probably water this closer to 2 weeks, so maybe 10 to 14 days, versus this one is more 7 to 10 days. But yeah, I definitely feel the soil before I water it, just so I don't water it when it doesn't need it, because if you overwater this plant, so watering it too often, it will actually rot the roots and then it starts dying, which nobody wants that for their houseplants. Okay, so we went through light, watering, humidity. So I would say these guys don't particularly need really high humidity, so maybe more like if you're in 40 to 50%, I find most houseplants like that, but they don't need like high humidity, like 60+%. I don't have this one too close to my humidifier, but I mean there is a humidifier running in my room, so in the spot that this one's in, I would say it's probably closer to 40% humidity. The tips don't really get too brown. I would say it's more sensitive to like the tap water that I use, so like all the minerals that's in it, as opposed to the humidity that I give. So yeah, these are really easy, low humidity, low light, low medium watering. So yeah, super easy plants. I've also haven't had many pests on these plants, so because the foliage is so big, it's really easy for you to just like inspect the leaves to make sure that there's no bugs crawling around, and the minute you find them, you definitely have to like get rid of them. So there's a bunch of different pest treatments, which I won't go through that today. And yeah, there's so many different Aglaonema varieties out there. So in general, I would say a tip is the darker or the greener the foliage, the less light it needs. So this one is actually pulled further back from my window slash grow lights compared to this one. So because there's more pink in this one and less green, this one does need a little bit more light. This variety also has like smaller leaves, so I mean, that doesn't particularly matter, but I would say, yeah, keep this one in a more brighter environment, and especially if you have a lot of white or cream variegation in your Aglaonema leaves, then keep that for sure closer to the light. But yeah, this one is further from the light, and then this one is closer to the light. In terms of soil, I would say, you know, it doesn't have to have particularly chunky, well-draining soil, but just like a medium draining soil is good. I mean, if you're using just like regular cactus potting mix or just like regular potting mix, you could just throw maybe like a handful or two of perlite into your soil and it will do just fine. Just so the water kind of like drains through and it doesn't get really compacted, because I find if I use just plain potting soil, it gets like really like compacted the more I water it, and then it just becomes like a brick and nobody needs that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I went through everything that I wanted to share with you guys today about Chinese evergreen and how I care for them and why I pretty much love them, because they're such easy going plants. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.